INITECH, the saga continues. Thought I'd post an update, getting closer to VCF Midwest. And I think I'm to the point where I have pretty much the final configuration of all of this stuff ready to go. I've added a few things and I'll kind of go through what I'm going to bring along. Here's generally the overall network. As you can see, still the center is the simulated frame relay network, which is on a 2600 router. And the core of the INITECH corporate side is the 3640. I have since added a PIX firewall. I have a new internet connection inbound for INITECH. There's a PIX firewall between their network and the outside. I've got Sun machines loaded up, ready to go. I have Solaris 7 on one. On the other one, I currently have NetBSD 10, but I will probably take it back to Sun OS 4.1.4 just to be a little more era appropriate. NetBSD 10 is a little new. One I did add, I swapped over NT4 to NT4 Terminal Server Edition because I have a Wise Thin client. 30, I think it's a 3040 from 97 that works to show how thin clients worked back then. The VAXs I still haven't had a chance to get to yet. Hopefully soon I'll be able to get to those. Then the remotes. I have the same standard remote that we'll call this the large one, which I'll go through it over here, what it looks like, and some smaller ones connected by 2640s. I guess I'll kind of walk over here and go through the core of the network first to start with. You can see what it is. Here is pretty much the entire network for INITECH. Come on, there we go. This rack. I've cleaned it all up. It's in a rack now, and I got a console server. So I guess I'll go through it little by little. There is the 3640, which is essentially the core of the HQ network. There is the switching for basically servers, and we're calling this the core. It's a 3500 XL, which is actually dated September of 99. And I got an old D-Link in there, which is providing, there's coax 10 base 2 coming off the 3640 and feeding up to, I got this hub up here coming in to feed the VAX systems. So that's one segment coming off of the 3640. And the core network in the middle there. Down at the bottom here, basically we got if you can see it in there, that 2600 is the frame relay network, and these are the T1s running off to the remotes. Right now they're T1 CSU cards. I'd like to switch them out for something else, but that works the easiest right now, which I'll show you a couple of things that I've done. But that's kind of the core. At the top, there is the PIX firewall. That is their internet access. And there is a 2600 at the top here with async ports to get to all the consoles. And as you can see, this is connected here, console, which I have a VT100 terminal. It's an ESP term. I'll grab one here. There are these. So it's a VGA ESP terminal, VT100, closer to VT220. So when you walk up, let's set that down. At VCF, you'll be able to walk up and get on it just like that. It will automatically run the menu. And this is what you'll get. I have TACX Plus on the back end now that I'm trying to finish up getting working. That's why that menu didn't auto run, but authentication is all coming off TACX Plus off the back end now. TAC Plus NG is what I'm using. There is the NetBSD box. And of course the Novell file server is still there. Novell's working pretty good. And that's kind of the gist of the core. You can walk up at VCF log into everything, poke around, see how configs are set up, play with things. I want people to get some hands-on. So then we get to what is I'm calling a large remote site. And that is this setup over here. This is going to be the main setup that most people can use. You walk up and you'll be able to use these and log into them. The 2 professional workstations running NT4 and the 2 Dell boxes running Windows 98. I did order some period correct KVMs, some old Belkins, which I'll put in there. And I have a couple of CRTs. One of them is right down there, and another one's down in the basement. So this will look a lot like 1999. Modems, we'll see. I've got a couple of voice routers that I've been messing with. I may be able to have some local dial-in. We'll see. Then for the remote to get over to everything, here's the local switch. Here's a 2600 router, and this AdTran I got working the TSU 600. So that T1 then runs down to there, not to that TSU. That's different. It goes right into the 2600. And that's one frame relay connection. From an end user perspective, be able to walk up. Got 2 machines people can use. Can log in as VCF user. There's lots of software for the period loaded on here. Or you can pop over on either of them and get to NT4. Same software pretty much on both of them. I put a bunch of period correct stuff on here, you can see, including some games. AIM works, AOL Instant Messenger. I have a local AIM server running. I also have a local IRC running, both of which are period correct. What else? Internet. I mean, if there is internet, it'll work. But you know the way old internet is with these browsers and whatnot. So there's one remote. On the other remote side, I have an example of, let's call it a small remote here. In this case, this is non-frame relay. This is point-to-point. So I got the Pixadoom running 98 SE, 2600 router, and all the remotes I'm running all smaller remotes, 2900 XL switches instead of the 3500 XL at, let's call them, the larger remote site. So over here, what do we have? Point to point. And in this case, there's an AdTran CSU here on this network, and then this goes point to point down to that AdTran. So just like it would have been back then, point to point, and V.35 into the router. I got to swap out this WIC 2T with a WIC 1T that's 1999 appropriate. That's one of the last things I have to do over here. So that's a point-to-point non-frame relay remote, so you can see how those work. Running Windows 98 SE. And then this one is a frame relay small remote. Same switch, same router. There's no AdTran TSU on this side. I wish I could, but I don't. I mean, I have 3 other ones, but none of them work. So right now, that's running straight over to a Cisco CSU card in the frame relay network. And this machine was working fine until I plugged it in the other day, and this stupid Vocalist keyboard, this section of keys, stopped working on me. I'll tell you what, I hate these Vocalist keyboards. I really want it working because it's an example of one of those just sort of stupid 90s ideas that obviously never took off, thank heavens. But that's a small remote right there. So frame relay remote, point-to-point remote. Come on. What is it with this stupid gimbal? Point-to-point, small frame relay, small headquarters network. I have another Sun machine down in the basement on my network down there today. And the deck box, of course, the Vel boxes. And then the large remote that anybody can actually just sit down and use. I am building another machine. I don't know if it'll be ready. 486, that's going to run Slackware 2. It's basically my 1994, my first Linux machine. There is one of the ML330s. There's another one down in the basement. The one modern thing I am using, sitting back behind in this rack, there is an HP small form factor machine running modern Linux. And what I am doing on that will allow remote access. Let's see if I can show it here. VNC is running on those machines. I have behind the PICs, there's a DMZ with that little box. The HP, was it? Yeah, HP small form factor running no VNC. That then can connect over to several of those machines remotely. So I can log in. That is 98 machine 01. And let's go over here then, and you can see on 98 machine 01. There it is logging in. That is one of these Dell boxes. Right now I have 4 of the machines set up to do this, so you can get in remotely. We'll see how that works. It's kind of slow, let's put it that way, because you're on the other end of a T1. That machine is this machine, which is on that T1. But, it works. I think that's about it. Coming up left, I got a lot of little stuff to do. Finish up TACX Plus, so everything can log in and authenticate. You can maneuver around the network and poke and prod and play and look around. Everything on here, I think, is working now. Not a whole lot left to do other than really figure out how to get it all packed up and moved and set back up again. I think everything's been labeled decently, but if you've ever done one of these shows and set everything up, you kind of know how it's going to go. What else? I have a couple of spare routers I picked up. I threw a lowball offer, and somebody said yes, and both of them actually work. Might do something with those. I think I have another 3500 XL sitting around I might do something with. But I think, 3 remotes is enough to show off what it looked like back in 1999. Anyways, that's all. If you got any questions, ideas, I'm sure open to them. And if I don't post again between now and September, I'll see you at VCF Midwest. Laters.